You hit record, you talk for 20 minutes, and then you find out the file is watermarked, or it stopped at 10 minutes, or it looks soft and somehow weighs 4 gigabytes. That is almost never your fault. That is the tool. So I have ranked 10 screen recorders for Windows, counting down from number 10 to number 1. Here is what you get for each one, what it is genuinely good at, what it actually costs right now in 2026. And what people who use it daily report going wrong. Not a feature list with ticks next to it. And number 1 is not the one with the deepest editor. It is not the easiest to learn either. It wins on something else, and it is worth waiting for. First, what we are actually ranking. A screen recorder captures what is on your monitor, plus your microphone, plus the sound coming out of your computer. Some stop right there. Others bolt on an editor, so you can trim and add captions without opening a second program. A few upload the file for you and hand back a link you can paste to someone. Those are 3 different jobs. That is why the best one changes depending on what you are recording. One more thing before we start. Plenty of these tools call themselves free when they really mean a trial. A real free tier keeps working forever. A trial stops. I will tell you which is which as we go. Number 10 is Joyoshare VidiKit. This one is a toolbox rather than a recorder. Recording, cutting, converting, and even repairing a broken video file all live in the same app. It records at 1080p up to 60 frames a second. You choose whether the sound comes from your system, your microphone, or both. If you currently have 4 separate programs doing 4 separate jobs, that is the appeal. Now the honest part. A reviewer on Trustpilot reports it would not run at all on an almost new Windows 11 laptop after several tries. Joyoshare refunded them in full inside 5 working days. Both halves of that are worth knowing. So it is the pick if you want 1 app instead of 4. Just test it properly while the refund window is still open. Number 9 is already sitting on your computer. Xbox Game Bar ships with Windows 10 and Windows 11. Press Windows and G and you are recording. No download, no watermark, no time limit, no cost. Then you point it at your desktop and it refuses. The message says gaming features are not available for the Windows desktop or File Explorer. That is not a bug you can fix. Microsoft scoped it to apps and games deliberately. Here is the Bitmost video skip. The snipping tool on Windows 11 records video as well, and it will happily record the desktop. That one is already installed too. So between those two, a fresh Windows machine can record almost anything without you spending a penny. Number 8 is Loom, and it is built around a completely different idea. Loom is not really for making a tutorial. It is for sending one. It uploads while you are still talking. The second you stop, there is a link ready to paste into an email. For a quick "here is what I meant" clip to a colleague, nothing on this list is faster. The free plan is where people get stuck. 25 videos, 5 minutes each, capped at 720p. One 2026 review calls that 5-minute limit the single most common complaint because most explanations run longer than 5 minutes. Paid lands around $18 per user per month, or roughly $15 if you pay for the year. So Loom is excellent for messages and the wrong shape for tutorials. Number 7 is ShareX, free, open source, and packed with more features than anything else here. It is a Windows power users tool. It captures, it names your files by rules you set yourself, it uploads them wherever you tell it to. And it costs nothing and stamps nothing. The recorder is the weaker half. Users on its own subreddit report choppy frame rate. They report a recorder that works once, then fails on the next attempt. They report a second or 2 of frozen frames at the start of a clip. Think of ShareX as a brilliant screenshot tool that also records video, rather than the other way around. So take it for stills and short clips, and use something else for a long tutorial. Number 6 is Wondershare DemoCreator, and it aims squarely at teaching. Recorder and editor sit in one window. Reviewers on G2 describe it as feeling like iMovie, with screen recording and green screen added on top. Say you are building training videos or a course, and you do not want to learn a real editor first. That combination is the entire point of it. It runs around $40 a year at list price. There is a perpetual option, but read it closely. It covers updates inside the current major version, not the jump to the next one. What users flag? The avatar sync is poor, and the free version watermarks your exports. So it suits course and training work nicely. I would leave the avatars alone. Number 5 is EaseUS RecExperts, and its strength is how little there is to learn. The reviewer at TechRadar put its setup among the easiest they had come across. It records 4K at 60 frames a second, and it captures encrypted content that several other recorders simply refuse to show. The specific reason it earns this spot is GPU acceleration. It hands the encoding work to your graphics card, so an older machine can record without dropping frames halfway through. The trade is file size. A user on the Screen Recorder subreddit back in February reports the files come out enormous. Pricing sits around $20 a month, about $40 for a year, or a $70 lifetime license. It is on offer more often than not, so it is the easy one. Just keep half an eye on your free disk space. Number 4 is Bandicam, and it answers something the other roundups skip entirely: storage. An independent 2026 test found Bandicam produced the lightest processor load and the smallest files of everything they tried. Quality did not visibly suffer. It records up to 4K at 480 frames a second using your graphics card's encoder. 2 limits, both real. It is Windows only. And the free version puts a large watermark in the middle of the picture. It also cuts every clip off at 10 minutes. One reviewer calls the free version essentially unusable for professional work because of that watermark. Paid is about $40 for a single PC. So if your machine is a few years old or your drive is nearly full, look here first. Number 3 is ScreenPal, which you might still know as Screencast-O-Matic. It does the most for the least money. Recording, editing, captions and hosting, all in one subscription. The entry plan is $3 a month billed annually, $4 if you pay month to month. $6 a month gets you the tier above that. For a teacher on a small budget, turning out a lot of short videos, that price is hard to argue with. Reviewers on GetApp consistently call it strong value for money. On software advice, the picture is rougher. Reviewers report the app freezing badly enough that they could not close it. Support runs slow on billing and account questions, so it is the value pick of the 10. Expect to be patient if you ever need the billing team. Number 2 is Camtasia, and it is this high for one reason: the editor. Even a competitor's own 2026 roundup concedes that Camtasia has the deepest manual timeline of the lot. Say you are cutting a polished tutorial with callouts and zooms and quizzes built in. This is the most capable thing on the list. The 2026 story is the price. TechSmith ended the perpetual license in autumn 2024 and moved everybody onto an annual subscription. Then in March this year, subscribers reported an increase of around 31%. The new figure was only visible once you logged in. Today, it starts at $39 a year for a starter tier that watermarks your exports. Essentials is about $180, Create is $249, and Pro is $599. Reviewers rate it highly and call it steep in the same breath. Both are true. So if the editing is the actual job, it earns the money. If you only need a record button, it is a lot of money for a record button. And number 1 is OBS Studio. Free, open source, community funded, no watermark, no time limit, no resolution cap, no account, and nothing held back behind a paid tier. That is confirmed across several independent 2026 roundups, including one published by Bandicam, which competes with it directly. The feature that puts it on top is scenes. You build several layouts in advance. Full screen, screen plus webcam, webcam on its own. Then you switch between them in the middle of a recording, without touching an editor afterwards. It also does something people keep asking for in the comments under videos like this one. They want the console trick. Something great happens that you were not recording, and one button saves the last 30 seconds afterwards. OBS has it. It is called the replay buffer. it holds recent footage in memory, and writes it to disk the moment you hit the hotkey. Now the honest part, because it is exactly why people bounce off it. The learning curve is real. Reviewers on Capterra name the steep learning curve and complex setup outright. One 2026 review reckons on a few hours before scenes and audio routing feel natural. It is not the easiest tool here, and it has never claimed to be. It takes the top spot because nothing else removes every single limit and charges nothing for it. So that is the 10. If you want it in one sentence, OBS Studio wins because it costs nothing and caps nothing. The price you actually pay is an afternoon of learning it. I have put links to all 10 in the description. Some of them are affiliate links, so I get a small commission if you use them, at no extra cost to you. Now I want to know which one surprised you most. Tell me down in the comments.